Carmella, the most beautiful woman in WWE and one half of the women's tag team champions, and Corey Graves, the voice of a generation and possibly the greatest color commentator in pro wrestling today. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, you buttered us up really well with those intros. That was fantastic. We've done a lot of these media interviews recently. That was far and away the best intro we've had. Thank you.
No, Corey, I'm not going to lie to you. This whole day, I've interviewed a lot of people, but this whole day I've been extremely nervous to talk to you because you were so good on the microphone that it was completely intimidating. But first of all, congratulations, guys, on getting engaged and the new show. The trailer was spicy. It almost is like a throwback to the Attitude Era, which I love. And I saw the first 4 episodes, and I see so much of my own relationship in this show. It is amazing. I first want to talk about the Bear With Us podcast. Corey, you described it a little bit as therapy, and it's crazy because you guys really do bear it all. Where did the idea from the podcast start from?
Well, the idea was all 100% my better halves. One night during the pandemic, we were locked down as everyone in the world seemed to be and had way too much free time. We were having a few glasses of wine, and Carmella came up with the idea to do an Instagram live talk show because we had basically been waking up every day and watching Kelly and Ryan and then whatever was on after that and whatever was, and we went, we should just give it a shot just out of complete boredom. And lo and behold, it picked up some traction and people started showing up every morning. They'd have a few more people show up. And next thing you know, we got a couple thousand people watching every episode we're doing. And we went, we might be onto something here.
Yeah, people were watching and being like, oh my gosh, I act the same way to my husband, or my boyfriend rolls his eyes at me when I say XYZ, or oh, I so agree with Carmella when she said that. And we're like, maybe we could really do something here. And, you know, we just figured let's take what we have and just run with it.
And what you said in the opening about how you see aspects of your own relationship in it, that's all the justification we need, because that was kind of our goal was, yes, we might have glamorous, cool jobs, but we're just normal people. We're just like everybody else. We have the same issues that every couple on the planet Earth has. Sometimes probably worse, sometimes better. But we figure, why hide it? Why run from it? We're not perfect. We have problems just like anybody else.
And let's normalize the problems that everyone has. Like, just because you have a fight or just because you're going through something, maybe in the bedroom, whatever it may be, that's okay. Doesn't mean you have to break up. Let's help try to work through it and talk through it and normalize all of these issues. And that's what we've done with our podcast, and it's been great. So it's truly, like, honestly makes us feel so great to hear that you feel the same way about your relationship.
Not only do I appreciate it, but I applaud you for it, because it is really putting your relationship on display. But sometimes it opens up the conversations that are uncomfortable for me to have with my significant other by watching this show. So I absolutely applaud that. And I mean, and it is really like therapy for myself as well. Do you guys ever go back and listen to some of the podcasts, whether it be an argument after it airs, to analyze it, or do you just put it behind you?
We usually, honestly, what happens if we have an argument, we bring it into the booth. When we're at the studio, we go at it. And like, there's times where I've been in tears and we just are, you know, getting into a full-fledged argument, but we always somehow resolve it and wrap it up in the studio. And then it's like, as soon as we leave, it's like, oh, so what do you want for dinner, babe? You know, like, we just kind of like let it be. And then it's really nice, I will say, to be able to have our listeners weigh in on our argument and be like, you know what, Matt, Corey, you were wrong about that. You should have never said that to Carmella, and vice versa. You know, it humbles us and allows us to really get people to weigh in and be like, okay, like, if a lot of people are telling him that he was wrong, he's like, I guess maybe I was wrong.
That never happened, but hypothetically speaking.
It's really nice.
But yeah, it is fun to, like she said, bring reality into the studio. And sometimes when we're recording, we'll go, oh, that just didn't feel good, or that didn't feel right. And that's when I leave the studio feeling not great. But then almost inevitably, once the episode drops and the feedback starts coming out, that's when people relate to us the most. Not because it's clean, not because it's hilarious. It's because, oh man, that was kind of an uncomfortable conversation that I've had to have, or that I should be having with my partner. So when we joke about it being therapy, it is therapeutic to us in a manner. And we get a lot of feedback in emails and social media messages from other people saying, wow, I've had that same argument and you guys helped me approach it differently. Or my partner and I have been having this argument and we can't settle it and you guys settled it for us. And it's surreal and it's ridiculous because we're completely unqualified. But if it helped, help somebody get through the day, then it was all worth it.
You know, on that podcast, I sometimes even forget you guys are WWE superstars, because it's just like regular relationship problems, which again, I applaud you guys for. Now, Carmella, you're a reality show vet with 2 seasons of Total Divas under your belt. What did you learn from that experience that helped you prepare for Corey and Carmella?
So when I go back and watch Total Divas, especially I think it was season 7, my first season on, I did not know how to act. I didn't know what to do. I was so worried about people not liking me. So I was just really playing it safe. And I watched that back. I'm like, who is that person? I have no idea. And that's the reason why I was not back on season 8, because I didn't bring it in season 7 because I was just playing it safe. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to give this another chance. I promise I can be more myself. And that's when we opened up about our relationship and really got to be a little bit more of myself. But even still, it didn't feel really true, authentic Carmella, who I am. So I really wanted to make sure that I didn't do that when we were doing Corey and Carmella. I wanted to just lay it all out there, be who we are, and not apologize for it, not care if people like me or they hate me, whatever. This is who I am, and if you don't like it, that's okay. But I'm still going to be me. I'm not going to change who I am because you don't like how I act. And so I really think that comes across on our show because we are just truly ourselves.
I love that. Now, Corey, you guys shot this in 2020. It's almost like a snapshot of your guys' life in the pandemic. And Carmella, much like myself, you enjoy your alone time. In the pandemic, when we were so trapped with our significant other, between patience, communication, and sex, which is something you guys talk about a lot on your podcast, which is the one that you guys struggled with the most during the pandemic?
The sex. I think that's how Bear With Us came to be. Because I on one of our Instagram lives one morning, I admitted to just not exactly having any sort of drive at that instance, which she took offense to at the moment, understandably so. But it was nothing personal. It was truly it's not you, it's me. I was locked up. I used the comparison of a panda bear that are notoriously difficult to breed because pandas only breed once in a blue moon when they're into it. So I made that joke, and social media caught fire, and next thing I know, it's in the New York Post. And that was kind of when we went, we might be onto something here. Yeah. And that really, me putting my foot in my mouth, which, as if you listen to the podcast, know is a recurring theme, that sort of showed that, hey, maybe we have something fun here we can share with people, and it's been off and running ever since.
That's something both you and I have in common, Corey, putting our foot in our mouth.
I'm a professional at it.
You and me both. Carmella, first of all, I wanted to thank you directly because if it weren't for you and Becky Lynch, my family as a whole, we wouldn't watch wrestling. You two specifically got my stepdaughter and my girlfriend into this together. So I wanted to thank you for that. But the question I have for you is, now you're a stepmom to 3 of Corey's beautiful kids. I got to ask you as a stepdad myself, what bit of advice do you have for me?
My best piece of advice is to not try to be their parent. They already have a mom. They already have a dad. All you can do is be there for them and be consistent. Always be, you're there, always be there and be you, but you don't have to worry about being a certain way. Just be yourself and be present and be in the moment. That's something I always try to do with the kids, not when we're coloring or we're playing a game, I'm in it and I want to be in it. And I guess that would be my best piece of advice. You're not their parent. You're just,
but
you're there.
You've taken on a parental role and parental duties. I mean, you may not fancy yourself.
I guess I don't think of myself like that.
No, but I mean, you make sure that the kids have what they need, and you need to correct them if they're mistaken. I mean, you may not do it consciously, but you've definitely taken on a parental role. But to her point, she's been amazing because I didn't know how this was going to work out. I was terrified at the prospect of ever having to go on another date, having 3 kids, and she comes in and just starts hitting home runs left and right. And I was like, well, damn, I hit the jackpot as far as that goes. But it's absolutely amazing. And of all the things I love about her, that is something that makes me love her even more. Seeing how she has grown into this role with my kids and how much my kids adore and love her. It's like, man, it just sort of justifies and makes me realize everything that led us to this point was the right decision.
Well, and there's no rule book, right? There's no right or wrong way to do something. Every household is different how they handle things. So all you can do is just be you, and I'm sure they'll just love you for who you are.
I love that answer. I love the love that you guys have for each other and just how you express it. I think it's really beautiful. Corey, I'm sure you've gotten asked this a ton of times, and I applaud you for keeping such a secret in the modern day of technology, for being cleared to return to in-ring action. Is that an itch that you've just wanted to scratch for a while?
Yeah, basically that's all it really is. There are no plans. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't have any sort of immediate goals to accomplish. It was just something that I've wanted to do, and I've accomplished so much in this role as a commentator, which is a role I never in a million years expected to have in the first place. So now I'm like, okay, I feel like I've got the commentary thing down. Now what else can I do? And I'm constantly, I mean, behind the scenes trying to learn and learn the business side of the wrestling business. And I always want to have irons in different fires, just because otherwise I feel like when I get complacent, I get bored. And I just keep thinking to myself, that is the one thing that I was right there. I was right at the peak, and I fell down the mountain. And now it's like, wait, I can get medically cleared, maybe get myself back into shape, which has been the hardest part, because I really enjoy sitting at ringside, not having
into that.
Yeah. But it's just always that what if, and this is a what if that I think I can potentially answer instead of having to wonder forever what if. So it may happen 6 months from now. It may happen next year. It may not happen at all, but I'm just trying to get myself physically and mentally into the best shape possible for whatever the world may have waiting for me.
Yeah, I'm so happy you have that opportunity. I really am, because I saw that ESPN E60, and there are parts of it that were heartbreaking to me. I got some fun wrestling questions for you guys. What is your favorite entrance music of all time?
Ooh.
Evolution by Motorhead.
I like it. I like it.
That to me, take it out of the wrestling business, it's still an unbelievable song. That one to me always, I think, is the coolest. And there's probably more I have, but that one, that's an easy one.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Fabulous. My entrance, that music will go down in history as iconic. And the fact that I can't have that anymore is a travesty.
Oh, I had a 6-year-old dancing around every time that entrance.
You can't not dance to it.
Well, maybe you just need to up your fabulous factor a little bit.
Maybe I just need to bring it back.
Maybe you're not as fabulous as you once were.
No, because now I'm bad.
Oh. That's right. That's right. Now, Corey, I know that when I was a kid, the Intercontinental title was everything to me. And I know that the Intercontinental Championship for you was one of your goals as well. Now, talk about championship belt designs. What is your favorite championship belt design?
Ooh, I think I have to defer to the classic, what everyone in the internet wrestling community refers to as the winged eagle, as opposed to a non-winged eagle, which I don't think is the same sort of thing. But the classic black championship title to me will always be the most important. There've been some really awesome designs. I like the big blue one that followed that Austin had for a while. I hate customized championships.
Me too.
I hate it. I think it's like you don't get to customize the Lombardi trophy when you win it.
It's the prestige of the title.
Exactly. But I would have to say that classic one that, Hogan had, and then Warrior one. I did like when Warrior would change the straps. He had like a powder blue one, which was kind of cool, but it was still the same design. So I think that has to be my favorite.
How about yourself, Carmella?
Listen, I'm not good with that stuff. I'm not good with knowing the history of the title. Like, I'm not good with that. So I'm not even going to pretend I know.
How about the one you have framed in our house?
Sure. I mean, of course, my SmackDown Women's Championship. I love that. But I'm not going to pretend I know about how they all look throughout the years, because I don't know that.
Believe me, I would have caught heat for cracking that frame as well, though.
She's not as big of a dork as I am. I really lean into mine.
Now, what's the best match not involving yourself that you would have somebody sit down and watch?
Ooh, I would have them watch Sasha Banks and Bayley. Brooklyn, Takeover Brooklyn. That is one of the, oh my God, masterpiece.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. I'm going to go back a little bit further, and I'm going to say Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 7, the career-threatening match. Just the emotion and the ending with Savage hitting 5 elbow drops, and when the Warrior looks up to the heavens and is looking at his hands and doubting himself. When I was a kid, I'm going, oh my God. The Ultimate Warrior lost his powers. This is it. This is going to be the end of the Ultimate Warrior. And then in the end, when Elizabeth and Macho have that moment, I watched it probably last year, and I'm not going to lie to you, I still got a lump in my throat. It still holds up to me after all these years, where I think that connects with people on a human level and a superhero level. It's both fantastic and reality at the same time. And I just think that is one of the most beautiful matches ever.
Love conquers all. Last question I have for you is, all right, I hope I got this right. So, Corey, if you could travel back to 2014 and talk to Sterling James Keenan and have a little bit of advice for him, what would you tell him?
Slow down. And all of the madness that I experienced on the indies prior to arriving in WWE, I wouldn't have changed for the world. Stylistically speaking, a little bit, I would have taken a little bit better care of myself. I felt like I was invincible. Oh, I got a concussion? No big deal. I'll be fine. Oh, well, no, you need to take the week off. What do you mean I need to take the week off? I'm fine. I was so driven and goal oriented and I had blinders on, and the only thing I could focus on was making it to WWE. And I was right there. And I think in hindsight, if I had slowed down a little bit, taken a little bit better care of myself physically and mentally, that maybe I wouldn't have hit that roadblock when I did. Not to say it wouldn't have come another year or two down the road, but at that time I was burning the candle at both ends constantly. I was training, trying to balance everything, trying to make it. And I think a little bit older, wiser version of me, I would just tell myself to slow down and take it easy, because as we can see, I eventually got here in some capacity.
Now, Carmella, if we can go back to 2010 and when you were trying out for Tough Enough, what word of advice would you tell her?
Ooh, well, when I applied for Tough Enough, I didn't end up being able to go through with it because I was a Laker girl at the time. But if I could go back to tell the girl who got signed in 2013 anything, I would just tell her to not worry about what other people think or say and just continue to just work hard and do what you did. And I mean, I really leaned into my character, and I'm so grateful that I did that. That's something that I'm really proud of, because I think I have a very strong character in WWE. And I would just say, like, don't worry about what other people think of you. Like, you just continue to do what you do.
Absolutely. And everything you've been given, Carmella, you've turned it into gold. I want to thank you guys so much for your time. I absolutely love the show. I love the podcast, and I love what you guys do. I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, man, thank you for taking time out of your day. This was awesome. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Big fans, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right on, man.
Take care, guys.
Well.